Good afternoon and welcome to the latest edition of The Spirit of the Valley. I'm excited today because this is something that I've not known about until this wonderful lady got involved with it. This is Vicki Pridgeon, who is the manager of the Wilder Center, and I think you people probably are hearing that name more and more now than they ever did before, because not only is it relatively new, but she has just done wonders with it. The number of events, the variety of events, which we'll talk about, are just stunning. And if you haven't seen it, you need to drive out there from, I think we were 5 miles off of Route 10 anyway, if you head past King Arthur, etc. It's about 5 miles out, and it is such a surprise to most people when they see what has happened to this. And the history of it, welcome by the way. I'm so glad you're here. I've been wanting you to do this. The history of it is basically it was a church for many years. I mean, 1800s.
Yep, it was.
Changed denominations, I think, along the way.
Changed denominations a couple of times, built in 1890.
Right.
But it was an operating church all the way up until 2008, and most recently a congregational church.
And it just kind of diminished, it just kind of faded away.
Yep.
Membership, parishioners and all just...
Similar. Many churches are seeing this nowadays, that less and less people were coming every week, so there were 15 or 20 people coming each Sunday, and it wasn't enough money in the donations bucket to keep up repairs on the building.
So it was pay a
falling
pastor
apart.
or someone.
Or pay someone.
There's nothing. If you have no money, you don't have a church, unfortunately. So Lime Properties, I believe, bought it and decided to do something really creative with it and make it into an event center, right?
Yes, and the way they did that, Lime Properties purchased it, and then they had neighborhood meetings to ask the neighbors what they wanted to see done with the building.
Right.
And they had a number of meetings where all the neighbors were invited to come and give their input and answer surveys on what kind of events they wanted to see. Do they want it to become an events facility?
Nice.
How late should it stay open? So the neighbors got to have their voices heard and what they wanted to see done with it.
And that's the way he works anyway, because with his project down on Route 10, he had neighbors on board immediately. But were there many objections? Were there a lot of, I mean, there usually are when something enters a neighborhood that's...
I don't remember hearing anything. I wasn't working for them then.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it seemed to be and it still does seem to be a community-supported
It's positive,
initiative.
It's happy, it's upbeat, it's not loud and crazy most of the time, I'm sure.
Most of the time.
Now, how did he find you?
I applied when I saw it, I think, in the Valley News. Just saw the posting and had a couple interviews. And
is it something you've done?
I've worked in...
Besides your family?
My mother owns a bed and breakfast,
right.
So I've grown up in hospitality.
Trumbull House in Etna. I'm not ashamed to give her a plug.
Trumbull House in Etna. A lovely spot.
So you know the hostessing...
right.
What's the word for it?
Yes.
Anyway.
Hospitality is natural.
Hospitality.
Yes.
There you go. So you got it, obviously, and good for you, because he must have seen some energy in you, because you have to have a lot to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
This place, I've never seen anything like well, first of all, you advertise beautifully because you're everywhere.
Good.
And that's what you have to be. But what we've done is Vicki was gracious enough to give us a lot of, or loan us or whatever, a lot of pictures. So you're going to see what we talk about, which is the huge range of activities that are done, that are given there, and everything from serious business conferences to weddings, bar mitzvahs, birthday parties, movie nights. It's phenomenal. Best popcorn in town, that I will add. But if you haven't been to something there, make it a point to just keep abreast of what is going on out there. It almost doesn't matter what it is, as long as you get in there and see the building. You promote them beautifully. I never am not aware of what's going on in that place, because if you have on Facebook, you can't miss Vicki, or you almost called you Miss Vicki. And tell me some of the things that are coming up now, or new soon.
Sure. Well, if you're interested in joining our listserv, then you will be sure to get an email twice a month with upcoming events. Just go to our website, wildercenter.com, and there's a little listserv sign-up button, just in case you don't want to miss the upcoming community events. So, for example, last week you had a show with the Power of the Purse
Right.
ladies from United Way. So there's a benefit purse auction this coming Sunday, champagne brunch.
Unfortunately, I think we'll be on later than that.
Oh, that's okay. So it will have already
But
happened.
that's the kind of thing. I
You
mean,
can go to our
that's-
Facebook page
it's
and
a-
look at pictures.
You'll see pictures, I'm
the event.
sure of it. But that's the kind of thing that it's built for. It's just the right size.
Mm-hmm.
It's got, I don't know, every kind of a facility you could need in there. But you have others to talk about too that are ahead of us, that by the time you air, she's got her handy dandy cheat sheets here.
My little
which she
flyer.
should have. This I'm not sure about on the date, but it's, again, the kind of thing, tell them about the Halloween-a-thon, because it's
Well,
born and bred right here.
I was going to make you talk about
Okay.
the Halloween-a-thon. because
Halloween-a-thon is a
presented by CATV.
competition among young people making videos about, scary videos, but they had limits on gore and blood and gore.
Yep.
And it will have been, I'm afraid, by the time we get out to you, but what it is from several towns, they have, I forget what he just told us for teams. 19 teams of kids that have come in or done it at home, made videos for Halloween, and the Wilder Center is hosting it. It's going to be crazy. I wish we had gotten on ahead earlier, but we've been busy. But it's the kind of thing they do. There's nothing you can't ask to use this center for, and
No.
you probably will rarely ever hear no, because it's just fits sort of everything.
Yeah, they made it really functional.
They did. It's functional, and it can be intimate. It can feel large. It can. I just one night I got the feeling that I'd been there a few times.
You're going to be a groupie. That's good.
I'm going to be groupie. I love all your postings. There is something though in December that is going to be very cool, and it's another thing that's made for your location.
Yep. On December 1st, we're going to do the first ever Wilder Holiday Bazaar. So we're going to have a number of tables available and table space for vendors, local, if somebody has local crafts they want to have available for sale, or if they want to have a table of cookies. So it'll just be the morning of December 1st, Saturday, just a drop-by community-free event for people to come and
what
just
hours?
like a craft fair from 9 in the morning till 1 o'clock.
9 to 1 on December 1st. And so and how do they reach you if they wanted to ask you if they could have a table or a booth or whatever it's going to be?
You could email info@wildercenter.com
Okay, we'll put that on the screen.
or call.
And they call. What's your phone number?
It's 802-698-8368.
Okay, so all of that will be on the screen, and you can reach Vicki she's probably there all the time from
Yeah,
what I
you
gather.
can reach me anytime.
You can find her easily, but if you have something you make or bake or create in any one of those things and you want a space at this bazaar, December 1st is a wonderful time for an event like this, because people are really starting to get serious about
Yeah.
shopping. And all you have to do is call her. She'll tell you if yes or no you have space, and if you do it early enough you will have space, so just a hint. But when I looked at the pictures you sent me, I saw company outings, I saw company retreats, I saw a bar mitzvah, a thank you party,
And a couple of retirement
retirement
parties.
parties, birthday parties. You had a cook-off, didn't you?
That was my
the cake
favorite
pop
event.
thing, right?
That was different from
Well,
the cake pop.
what was it?
So my favorite event so far has been, it was on April 1st this past year, and it was a cookie competition.
That's it.
It was co-hosted with King Arthur Flour and Wilder Center,
That's
and
it.
there were 20 home bakers, and they made like 8 dozen of their favorite cookies and their favorite recipe. And then the general public was invited to come through and sample the cookies and vote on their favorite for a $5 donation to the Haven. So it was super successful. We raised almost $1,500 in 2 hours just with cookies.
Cookies.
So it was.
There's
it
your
was
secret,
a lot of
folks. If you
fun.
want to make money, have cookies and charge for them.
Yeah.
No, I remember a certain mutual person we know, you're related to, did rather well that day.
She did.
But this is why this place is filling such a niche, because it's there aren't a lot of places like it anyway
No,
that you
there's-
can
Yeah.
do that
you
many
can-
things in. Do you have any other competition for events?
Yeah, there's all different kinds of competition. There are churches,
Yeah.
they aren't as like audiovisually capable as Wilder Center is.
Right.
There's like Hanover Inn and local hotels, which are also different. But so it does fill a niche in that
does.
it's a great spot to get away to.
And it's easy to get to, easy to
Versatile.
park. Those are critical when you come from the Hanover area to know that parking is not a hassle.
True.
A lot of movies, a lot of movies. I don't know, I cannot remember all the things I've read and seen. I went through last night, I don't know how many pictures you sent me, but it felt like about 100.
1,200, yeah.
And it went on and on and on, and I kept saying, they do that there? Or I never heard about it. And just think about it when you have a gathering. It could be a family gathering. It could be a huge family reunion. It could be any I mean, so many things I can't even begin to think. But think about it when you do, because they do a beautiful job. Vicky's obviously was chosen well. She's probably going to get exhausted eventually, but she's living the Wilder Center right now. But have you had an event besides the cookies that stands out, or are they all just so different that you can't really pick one? Cookies would be a favorite of anybody, so that's okay to say.
I mean, they all stand out in their right. I'm
Yeah.
more or less involved in like sometimes people just rent the building and they do it all themselves, and then there are things like the cookie one that I
Yeah.
work to
So
organize.
you don't always know a lot about what's coming, just that they've
Yeah,
taken the space. Because I went to that movie that was so beautiful for Paddle Power,
Yeah.
and it was very emotional. I've never been to a movie before where at the end nobody said a word. There was not a sound in that room at the end. It was about veterans and what they have accomplished under huge disabilities. And the room, you want to clap at the end of a movie, but this one, it was so solemn and so emotional. Nobody clapped. They just stood up and left.
yeah, it was very moving.
It was very moving, and if you want to be moved, keep track, get on the list for one thing, because there's no end to what the Wilder Center is about. But historically, who would have thunk? I mean, years ago, if you could talk to someone from the 1800s, they would have. I mean, it was going to be a church forever.
Yeah,
I'm sure they all thought and hoped it would be.
right.
But it's a good ending for that. I think the church people would be pleased, and I hope they all found other churches. But usually they either merge or
Yeah,
move on. But no one would have thought this was going to end up being an entertainment
right.
sort of
Well,
use.
and it's still used for some church-like things, like weddings
Yeah.
or memorial services.
Yep.
Kind of gravitate towards it
Yep.
because it's not overly religious right now,
Right.
but it's still a very
Well,
nice.
I'll give you a
space.
secret about what makes it special: stained glass.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I mean, that's the only thing in there that would even look sort of church-like. I mean, not that they can't be anywhere, but that and the shape of the building. And we'll make sure and put on a wonderful photo you sent us of the outside of the building, because that is stunning. And it's so simple, you won't believe how non-simple it can look. But it's a simple building, which is partly why you can use it for anything. So you're booked. I saw on your Facebook, on your website, that you have things right through a lot of things coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Do you go out looking for things, or do people all come to you?
Part of my job is right now, when it's not booked chock full, to let people know that I'm here, which
Yep.
is the first step to
Yep.
renting the space, is to know
Right.
that it exists as an
Right.
option. So that is part of my job, is
Yep.
outreach.
Yep.
And a lot of people submit rental inquiry forms on the website, and we find out if it's the perfect space for them and go
Well,
from there.
and also now it's becoming so word of mouth-ish
Yeah.
that people think of you now as a place. They don't have to ask someone, where can I,
Well, they're starting to. There's still a lot of people who.
Oh, true.
This is a funny story, because we know that I work at a B&B as well, or I live there, and I came home one night and I found a message on the answering machine wondering about if we had space for a large event next June at the B&B, And I returned the call and I was like, well, the B&B is a little bit small. It doesn't need to be indoors. It doesn't need to be outdoors. And he's like, indoors. And I was like, I know the perfect spot for you. And we set up a tour for the next day. And he's booked his bar mitzvah for his son or his grandson next June. He's got it all set
So
and
he's
squared
out
away.
through June
But he
already.
didn't, he lives in Norwich and he didn't know that it
Okay, so
was
that's
here.
what's funny, because it's basically almost in Norwich. So,
Yeah. No,
This
there's
is-
still many people who don't know that
and you
what
and I
it
were
is now.
talking earlier about other things that are in this area that a lot of people don't know about. The
Mm-hmm.
Upper Valley Hostel was the one I was thinking of, because it's for out-of-towners.
Right.
So Hanover people don't need a bed there.
Yeah.
Some people don't know what it is, that building next to the library. So, but I think word of mouth is starting to work, because I hear it and people, oh, I know, oh yeah, I was just there, and that's exciting.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
that's what people like I do, is when I go to something, I just babble. I mean, that was a night that was very special. And the friend I went with said the same thing. She just said, I don't know what to say. And that's kind of cool. But a lot of things aren't like that. A lot of things are wild and crazy. And if you can come to cookies and, how many they bake? 8 dozen each person?
Yeah. Some people baked more and they still ran out.
Did
Yeah.
they bring them or cook some there? Or
No, they brought
I
them
mean,
from
you
home.
have a kitchen,
They
but
could have
you-
cooked in there. We do have a large kitchen.
full
but-
size? So for some meals or some events,
Yep. Yeah,
The
there's a
catering
lot of
people would have
space,
no
big
trouble.
fridge. Yeah.
I want them to, we're going to do a show. We now have officially decided we're going to do a show on the history of the Wilder Center. So there was a film produced by a local man. You know the name Sean Clausen, a lot of you. And we have permission, we think, from David to put on a separate whole show of just the history of the Wilder Center, because it's fascinating. It's just interesting to see how its life has changed. And they could probably say it not better than you, but it probably more detailed.
I could say it better than me.
Okay, they
Yeah.
can say it better than me.
It's got
It-
up-close
it-
interviews with the neighbors
would
and
be-
people
yeah.
who know the
It
building
would
and the
be-
craftsmen who work on it. Yeah.
Oh, so that
he
would
did
be
a great
the
job.
whole story, watching this thing happen. So we officially can announce that we will do that here. And I'm a Facebook freak, so I will make sure it gets out there and you can take it anywhere you want. You know, we link a lot these days. And, but I just wanted people to know about Vicki, who was obviously the right person for this job, because you don't ever seem to stop working. And there is not an event that wouldn't work there. I'm going out on a limb. But,
I haven't found one yet.
all right, good enough.
Yeah.
So up and coming, remember the December 1st, you can, if you want a table to sell your wares, we love local stuff around here, obviously, and the number and email will be on the screen, and get going. It's going to be December 1st. You're going to want to get your name in early. And now you've got more things in December?
There was the Fiber Festival.
That's right. Tell me that.
So-
I won't tell you what I said about it.
That's okay. Well, lots of people think different
A
things.
fiber festival. Now, take what you want from that until she tells you what it really is.
No, it is. It's the Green Mountain Fiber Festival. It's hosted by White River Yarns. Karen Capel is putting it on, but it's the weekend of. I think it's Saturday, Sunday. I believe it's the 17th, 18th of November. That weekend in there.
whole weekend.
Yep. So during the daytime, it's like you can check on greenmountainfiberfestival.com for the exact hours, but there will be various fiber vendors from around New England, whether they have yarn to sell
I was
or
going to
mittens.
say, will they be
or-
also doing some work with
Yep, and
a loom or-
downstairs in the other space there will be classes going on throughout the day.
That
So,
makes it really complete.
yeah, it's nice for like Christmas shopping or
Yeah,
just if you're a fiber enthusiast, you don't want to miss it.
don't miss your fiber.
If you just
No.
want to look at them,
I think
good spot.
anything where you can do it hands-on as well as buy something already made is, December 17th, 18th,
November.
November.
It's coming right up. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. I thought it was coming after the other thing. Even better. So you just keep it booked. I mean, at a pace that works right now. I mean, and your job is to keep it booked, but not at the rate that would kill you.
Well,
you,
my job is to make the building self-sustaining, so there are enough events coming in and renting the space so that it can continue to pay its own bills and be here in 5,
Right.
10, 100 years. That's how they restored it, was so that it could exist for another 100 years. So
well,
my job is to get it started and get
he
it on
would
the
do
map.
good work with the building, I know that. He's a very
Yes.
fascinating, excellent entrepreneur in a lot of ways, but he would have the fine work done. I think it's cool, but you're loving it.
Yes, it's a lot of
I
fun.
can tell, because you wouldn't be doing so well with it. But you worked with your mom. You worked in the B&B, didn't you? Didn't you all sort of have to? Not
Yeah.
have to, but
We did
by
kind of
nature
have
of
to.
living there, you were
Yep.
part of the staff.
Right.
So I'm sure some of you have been to the Trumbull House or had guests stay there, and I've had guests stay there, and it's one of the best. And I don't care how shameless and a plug that is. It's the true B&B with the touches that make a B&B what they're supposed to be. In fact, we went and asked if my daughter could be married there.
Oh, cool.
Well, at the time, she didn't have the permit for that big a deal.
Yeah.
And she didn't want the neighbors, she didn't dare do it without that. And we didn't want her to get in trouble, so we
Right.
said, can't do it. But the setting is such that an
it's very
outdoor
pretty.
wedding with that pond, but it was a question of legality, and I respect that, so we couldn't do it. But for those of you who, I'm just plugging all the
I
pigeons
know,
here.
you are. Let's go through my whole family.
Well, I mean, it's a wonderful place, and it's one of very few. And it's handy, and you're telling your mom the bill will be in the mail. But for those of you who haven't done it, even driving by, my husband has not been in it, and I said, someday soon, we're just going to drive
Oh, yeah.
out and
Do.
look in it, or look, if you're not there, we'll just look at the outside.
No, just come right
It
in.
fools you. It just fools you when you walk in that door, what you have to work with. And the night I was there, it was totally full, I believe. And Paddle Power is another organization that people were willing to come out for. So you're doing just I don't know, it's just a great thing for the community. It's something that was needed, something that was different from other locations for events. It's very simple, and yet in its simplicity, I think is where it gets its character. I don't know why, it just doesn't, you don't need a lot of frills. And it's got those stained windows though.
Yeah, you
can't-
don't need to decorate a
if you-
ton to have it feel special.
It's just, some places you really have to be creative to make it look like someone would like to be in there.
Right.
This is just a real simple, comfortable place where a lot of fun things happen, so I hope it just continues to be a huge, huge success.
Thank you.
And I believe it will.
I think so too.
You have enough people on your support staff that rave about it. And I can't wait to get to the next thing I can do there. I can't do the one we talked about earlier, but I'll find something else.
I'm sure
I
you
may
will.
have to come out to that little bazaar.
I'll keep on creating things just so I can get you in the building. Yeah.
I will get there. I will come to that bazaar. I'm already spending money. But I really thank you, because I think again, it's for a fairly new place, or at least a new life for this building, and the redo of the building being so sensational. The more people that know about it, the better. And there are many ways to get it out there. This is our small way, but I think it's an interesting story. And I think people, when they see the other DVD of the history of it, are going to be blown away from the before and after,
Yeah.
so to speak,
Yeah.
in both use and in structure. So thank you. And I think everyone that's watching will appreciate it. And if not, if they haven't been there, they'll go.
Yeah. Just come.
They're going to realize they can do anything there.
If you
Small,
see a
large.
car there, it means that I'm there. So just just come in and look around.
I think that's neat that you could do that with someone, because they might just want to, well, they would want to look it over if they were thinking of booking it. But if someone just is in it, had never seen
Yeah.
it before, you don't mind them peeking
No,
around.
it happens all the time. People just
Oh,
stop in and
good.
wanted to see what happened with it.
See,
Yep.
that's really cool, because a lot of times places are locked up unless there is something going on, and they
Right.
wouldn't dare go in. But this
No.
way, they're welcome.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind and go out and see it. It's so worthwhile. In the meantime, we need to say goodbye. And I thank you so much, because they're going to enjoy what they see here in these pictures and what you've told them.
Great.
And Thank you.
Thank you for
Again,
having me here.
It's my pleasure. You'll have all of her contact information on the screen, and along with all those pictures that are going to keep us out of this. And my information is always up there if you know of anyone as interesting as Vicki or with some other little niche they've found. Just holler, because I love to get people on that have new things, new ideas, and this valley is so full of them. I just don't know them all. And if you have ideas of people, places, things, please get in touch with me at judymckeown@comcast.net, because I am very flexible. I'm an old retired lady, so I can be very accommodating. Please call. And in the meantime, we'll see you next trip, and thanks for watching.